Today we're talking about how do we fix poor drainage and or standing water in your yard here in Southwest Florida. Now, and this issue isn't as bad as it's been, but when it's raining like crazy, you know if you have this problem. Pooling water that just takes forever to go away, or sitting in areas you don't want it is a nightmare. So some of the things that we can do for this, and it varies a little bit, are going to, number one, be to move this water to an area where it can drain away. And so a lot of times in a backyard, if your grade is high enough, we can tile to the front where there's a drainage swale, and we can now get all of that water that's sitting in the back, if that's where the issue is, we can bring that up front and then get that to go along with the front of road drainage in that swale, and it'll mitigate your water issues. So really, the leading best way is if your property is high enough and the elevation is high enough to where you can get water to go up front and then go through city drainage is ideal. This is what we're always going to be shooting for. And this might be getting water from the back lawn up to the front. This might be getting buried gutter drains out and up to the front so they're not messing up landscape beds. There's so many things with drainage that it's just, we've got to find a low spot and then we've got to go from there. Now the problem really becomes, what if the backyard, what if it's an older build and it's not high enough to really push stuff up to the front, because you can't make water go uphill. So this situation is going to be more of, and a lot of times it's unfortunate, but it's not a perfect fix, but we can make it better. And that's what we've done on some of these properties where it's just older build and it's flat and hasn't been raised to new grade standards or heights. And so what we've seen in this situation, we've seen very, very wet backyards, and we can't get the water to the front. So here again, what we'll do is potentially raise that back lawn a little bit to have more flat area, and then put a swale around the outside along with French drains underground to collect additional water to now get it where you can mow and use more of your lawn. What we've seen in this is we've taken a lawn, and we're always very transparent of what's the percentage we think this is gonna make this better. And when we're not as sure because the site conditions are poor, we're very, very clear with that up front. I have went into a situation where it was 50-50. We were going to make it a little bit better, but it wasn't gonna be perfect. And the situation was a soaking back lawn, half of it was wet, and it was like that every time you rained, so you could only mow half of it. And so our goal then was, the house was just tall enough to raise the whole back lawn and make it where it was out of that water area. Create a swale all the way around the outside, and then put in French drains to help absorb a little bit of that additional water so it dries up quicker. And we effectively got this property to where now it's not half the lawn that stays wet, it's a little bit of drainage around the edges, and they are able to maintain that lawn and they have a lot more flat usable surface year-round, even in the wet season, to use. So those are the situations. Sometimes you can completely mitigate water and get it off site with drainage. Other times you can make the best of what you have by raising an area, gaining more usable ground that isn't as wet, and then creating a swale to still handle and manage some of that drainage with potential underground additional reservoir, which would be like a French drain. It's not going to collect all the water, it's not going to be perfect, but it is allowing extra capacity so your lawn absorbs that water in faster, effectively keeping less of the puddles and more usable surface in your back lawn. So these are some of the things we do. We love that situation where it's easy and we just get to say, hey, let's fix this drainage, let's touch up the swale. We also like that situation where we have to get creative and we have to really figure out what are the moves we do here to give this person the best results possible. So here's some of the things that you can do. And if you have one of these problems, we'd love to talk to you. I'd love to go over the situation, look at it with you, even if it's just to give you an idea of what you may have to do in the future, or we can potentially help you with that ourselves. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon.